A very good evening again. Thank you so much. So, really delayed. I hope you're all safe. Fine. I don't know whoever is from Bombay. Hope they are doing well because the cyclone that is happening around. So today's thing was developed by the thing to give you all a good design talk about visualization. That what we are doing. So before we start and getting into that all the technical stuff and giving you a knowledge of what I know and all those things, so I'll just give you a brief of information of what I do and what we are doing as a studio. We are a new studio that has just started up in Goa. We are specializing into yacht exterior design. We're the only and the first people to do yacht designing. To give you a brief about what I have done. So about myself, I have completed my education from DSK International Campus, that is Pune. I did my 5 years there, and I was specializing into industrial design, and I was doing digital design as my main kind of a course for designing. So I had an opportunity to do two internships, basically form my whole lifestyle about yacht designing. The first one was in VPLP design, that's Paris, which they developed specially into catamarans. If you can see on the lower left of the screen, so they developed high-end catamarans, especially which are very clean in the environment and helping the environment to go safer and trying to do a lot of researches, a lot of races, across the whole of Europe. The second internship that I did was in Timur Bozkır Designs, Turkey. He is a celebrity yacht designer who's right now well known as a very young and entrepreneurial designer who's coming up in the industry with really crazy designs and all those things. So I am basically from Goa. All my life I've been here, brought up with my education and everything. So that's the reason I thought of having my own studio back in Goa itself. So we recently started in 2019. It's almost going to become a year when in August, and we are pretty much happy about what we are achieving right now. So we have also won two awards for this particular designs. One is the International Design Awards for the concept Mori, which has really been published, and a lot of people are sharing the work because it's one of a kind yacht that has been designed by me with a different kind of a hull. So this studio, Bhushan Powar Design, is specializing into obviously the yacht and also architecture and product. So we do all three kinds of designs and also renders, visualization, and also customer feedbacks. Whatever they want can be done through us. So before we go through the whole thing, I just want to take you to the whole visualization process and what all softwares and all those things are using. So there is two kinds of things. One is what we can have a quick way of getting results, and one is where you spend a lot of money. You have to buy softwares and then you have to get your things done. But yes, obviously the quality of the work is much better. So this concept Mori was developed on the Rhino 3D. The whole modeling is done on that. We visualized this because we had a very small span of time to complete during my internship. So I used Keyshot because Keyshot is very well used in the industry and it gives you very quick results. It's not like other softwares where it takes 45 minutes to 1 hour to render a particular image. In Keyshot, the results come in 15 to 20 minutes if it goes with a lot of detailing and everything. So it also helps to you to understand how we can use Keyshot to your benefits if you're an automotive designer, if you're an industrial designer or a product designer, which I'll be showing you all in the forward of all the presentations, and how to take care of the lighting, how to put realistic things involved in your image to make it much more better looking and really presentable to your clients. So, and also how Photoshop is also one more important tool when it comes to rendering, because after renders you're done, it's not over. We have to use post-production to make it more realistic, more appealing, the light structure, how it works, how the surfacing and all has to come, all those things has to be done through Photoshop. The second project I want to take you towards is Glauca. This was again modeled in Rhino, but this time we used 3DX Max, V-Ray, and Phoenix FD. Phoenix FD is a particular plugin for 3DX Max that is used to give a realistic ocean kind of a feel for all these boats or houses, architecture kind of stuff, if you're having houseboats and all this. But here, the bad advantage is that yes, obviously you can get really great results and everything. But the bad part is it takes almost uh, 1 hour, 1.5 hours to I was saying that V-Ray is a very important tool, and it's very expensive also if you towards to all those things if you want to do it. But yeah, students get free versions. You can use it. You can try it. You can see how it feels. You can see what all information will be giving you, what all quality of render will be giving you. You can play with a lot of materials. You can create really amazing renders and all those things. Phoenix is okay, fine. It is good if you're having your design as your main priority or architecture, because you can give a swimming pool kind of a texture and realistic water flowing and all those things. Uh, Besides that, the only disadvantage is that one render, if you're doing a 4K render, for this it takes 1.5 hours to render one image. So we took almost a month to do a 1 minute video for my PC being on for at least 15 days straight, and then 2 days off, and then again working. So that is the disadvantage of having V-Ray. If it is a very heavy file, it takes a lot of time to achieve the results that you want. Like this particular design render took almost 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So it depends on all those things. For all your people, what is visualization and how it is interpreted for us? For me, visualization is representing a product by creating an environment, giving a realistic feel to the image produced. So for me, this means why I put the logo of eye. Then eye plays a very important role when you're doing visualization. Like your eye will capture almost everything that you have to do in your particular renders, like the materials that you see, the environment that you see, the lighting that you see on each and every product. If it's a car, if it's a building, if it's on trees, the texture and everything should be visualized by your eye. If you don't get it by your eye, I don't think so you'll be able to create a very differentiated version of your renders other than the others. It will be the same monotonous renders what other people are using. Uh, so there are two kinds of, I would say renders. One is where you create a scene that is already available. So you take an image from any particular website, you use it to your benefit, and you say, okay, fine, I'm going to produce this. So an example, this whatever I have done, this image is already replicated from another image that is there, but I have put my elements. This building is designed by me. The whole swimming pool and everything architecture wise is designed by me, but I'm using the backplate as the trees and the environment, the lighting and everything is already been taken from somebody else's work. So that reduces my time period, that reduces my work, that also reduces my stress about thinking, okay, fine, what should I do and all those things. So it depends upon to you what you want to do, whether you want to create something on your own, be different, and whether you want to take something which is already existing and try to do it by yourself. Coming to the second part, this is where we created our own design. The whole architecture has been designed by the team. The whole environment is designed by the team, where we sketch. We all, as a member of a team, when we had interns, the intern, me, and the other guy who's the junior designer, we sat together, we decided, we sketched, okay, fine, what elements should go where, what kind of renders we are going to take, what kind of camera we are going to use, which angle of camera we are going to use. This plays a very vital role in getting your renders done. If you don't have that, and if you don't have things to write, okay, fine, this is what I'm going to use this camera view to render it. This is what lighting I'm going to use. Even in lighting, the time period, like suppose you're doing a 12 o'clock, like 12 noon lighting, the temperature and everything, the color of the sun, the color of the grass, the color of the tree changes. Everything has to be unique in this particular sense. Coming to the next topic is render passes. Render passes is also something that we have to look up when we are rendering. Every render software has this opportunity that you can have render passes. The main thing is the beauty pass. The second one is the occlusion, pass, rest is reflection, refraction. There's a particular terms. If you go online and if you type render passes which are important, you will get a list of it. You need to use those. You need to use those, take it to Photoshop, overlay it so that the product quality stands out and the renders really come out well. So if you see on the left hand side, there is an image that is already there with the render passes. On the right hand side is the actual final product of it. If I didn't use that, my image will be very dull. Now in this, I can see the reflection, I can see the light quality, I can see the metal stuff and all those things. So you need to collect all those images, use Photoshop, overlay, screen, and all those things, which are already tutorials are available on YouTube and other channels. So this will help you to compose your image and come up with a really good render. The question. Coming to materials. Now see the materials. Now these are the materials that I've just rendered a couple of days back before coming to the presentation. Now you see all the materials like wood texture, like cloth texture. Even the cloth texture has a little bit of fibrous thing that is coming out of the material. That gives the feel of, the cloth material. Granite also, it is very shiny. It has patterns over it. There are few granites which are plain black, understandable, but there are granites which have patterns. So you have to know how the pattern works. Metal, how it plays. Carpent material also, if you go towards a car, if you go very close to a car, you'll see grains of silver, grains of black, whatever color that is there. So you have to see, your eye is a very main, the camera that will click pictures. So if you have a phone, please take pictures of whatever environment you see. Maybe if you're going in a mall, if you see some metal, very, disturbed metal, take a photo of it. Use it for your plus point. If you see any cloth, if you see any material, if you see any pattern, use it. So don't hesitate if you're getting into visualization, don't hesitate to click pictures of whatever you feel like it's good for visualization. Like even concrete material, whatever you choose, you feel it. You have to feel the material to get into a proper materialistic renders. Otherwise, it will be very blank. It will be very bland. People won't like it. You have to understand your materials, because if you don't understand your materials, I don't think so your renders will come out that great. So you can see there are almost 8 materials. To give you an example how wood texture is, there is always a bump material. Cloth obviously gives that, you have granite, you have metal, there is car paint, there is textured cloth, which can be used for cushions or mattresses or whatever it is. There is old sponge. You can see the cracks involved in the sponge, and there is reflective glass. You can see each and every difference between each and every material. So these are the very vital elements that goes into rendering. So now coming to a topic where everything has to be taken forward, and how we can get these things, and how we can come up with their own concept, taking inspirations and everything. This is belonging to somebody else. I've just taken it for reference for now. So he is doing the Ford render. So he has done this materialistic. Even the lamps and everything has been modeled by him. This gives you a scenario to create a realistic, okay, fine, this car is come for a photo shoot, how it's going to work out. So these inspirations are already available online. Now, an example, let me just start what we have done. I've already told you before of what we have done previously. So this is a very plain blank material that we have used just to show what all elements that we have put. Like the trees, like beds, like car, to give it a feel, even the fur material. So in this, we have used 3DX Max and V-Ray. And this is the quality that we have got after using V-Ray Sun, V-Ray Light, all the materials, elements, textures, all those things to come up with this render. So now if you want to have, okay, fine, there are people who have the availability, there are transportation designers in the stock. If you have any like a plus point, okay, fine, you sketch it out, what your visualization is going to be there. Use it to your benefit to sketch your own imaginative renders. If you have it on paper, use it, model it, or if you don't know modeling, tell somebody to model it and give it to you, because that will help you to give and enhance your work. Let me just take you to automotive, because a lot of people are automotive. An example is this. This guy created a render of a cruise ship that is going on an obstacle. This is how creativity works. He has used his own imagination to make this render. With other people are just doing it on the ocean, this guy has used his imagination. Okay. Yeah, so this is his imaginative way. He's used what software he's used? He's used Max Cinema 4D. He's used this, and see how the render passes work. That's what I was telling you all about. How render passes work and how it is important to have render passes involved. A lot of people don't know render passes are that important in doing renders. If you don't have this render passes and if you don't use it, your renders will not be that popping out when you're displaying it towards maybe on Instagram, maybe on social media or Behance or portfolio or anything. It should be outstanding. So please do use render passes in future on when you're doing renders on Keyshot or anything. It's available. When you have render, just click on render passes. It'll give you all the render passes. If you can just select few of them, which is, if you check on Google, you just check in for render passes, which are important. Click on those, get renders, use it, combine it to make a better image. One more example, really beautiful example, is this Jaguar concept by somebody, I don't know his name, sorry for that. So he's used Keyshot. Now Keyshot can also give you such great quality. It's not that, a lot of people say Keyshot is not that great, V-Ray is good, Cinema 4D is good, all those things, but Keyshot can also give a lot of better results. Only thing you need is patience, you need time, you need to see materials, you need to have at least numerous amounts of renders to get your final render. Even if you have 100 renders and then you have 101 the best render, I'm saying you have to have patience to have such kind of renders, because these renders are going to get you noticed in the industry. If you don't have that, I don't think so people will appreciate what you have done. So please have patience in renders, because it's a very tedious task and it's a very stress taking work also, because it's very pressing up. Sometimes you might want to just say I want to give up. Please don't give up when you come to renders, because every time you fail you have to do something great. You will try to see, okay fine, this is wrong, please sit with it for at least for half an hour or for 2 hours, see what is wrong, just mark it out quickly on Photoshop or just print it out, just say okay fine, this is wrong, I need to make this right. Just have patience to come out with really great renders. This is one more Keyshot come Photoshop render. This is one of my friend who's right now the junior designer for Land Rover UK. So he had done this project during his college, the Benedy project. So he had 3D modeled this on Maya, and he's rendered this in Keyshot and photoshopped it on Photoshop the whole thing. This is already, the guy on the bike is already sitting on a previously, I think so, it's a CB100 that is been riding. So he's just inculcated and try to remove the CB100 and try to put his own design. So this kind of things work out. You can do it. People are not going to say, okay, fine, you use my image. When the design and the image is completely different from the original, it's your own design. Nobody can question about it. It requires Photoshop skills in the end also. So you have to have Photoshop skills in order to retouch your final image. One more very good example of automotive renders is about V-Ray. Now this is a render. So now this whole scenario has been created in V-Ray. 3ds Max or Maya, whatever he's used it. If I can just scroll down, if I can show you what, this is his entire scene. He's created this, he sketched it out. He said, okay, fine, this is how my render is going to be there. I'm going to have an underground scenario with all pipelines, with all disturbed cemented wall paintings, pipeline going through, tube light going through. And in the end, he gets this amazing result. Those are the kind of renders that you can achieve. Anyone can achieve. If you have softwares available on your PC, you can achieve these renders. But yeah, to that matter, just to give you a heads up, Keyshot can be used on a laptop. Keyshot can be used in a laptop. It can be easily used. Your system won't be getting crashed or it won't take overload. But whereas to V-Ray, Phoenix FD, Cinema 4D, all those things, you require PC. You require very high-end PC to do your stuff. If not, then please don't try V-Ray on a laptop, because trust me, it's going to crash and you're going to regret by using V-Ray on it. Secondly is, I'll show you one last, last scenario. Then I'll talk about what tools and what to use and what all softwares that can be used for all these things. So this is the last image that we have seen. It's about all those things and how the material has been used, how the texture has been used. He's using forest pack and all those things for this kind of a environment. So this sun also quality has changed the color. He's changed everything, and he's trying to make a different kind of effect of giving it an evening effect with both architecture and everything. About Autodesk V-Ray, yeah, it's a very, very good software. A lot of people are using it right now for automotive especially. That's a new trend, because when it happens, when you download Alias, that is what the rendering software that comes along with you. Your V-Ray is also very widely used. Renault is using V-Ray for visualization. As far as I know, a lot of other companies are using V-Ray, especially for automotive, I would say. For architecture and all, it's different other softwares. Somebody asked me, can Keyshot be used as a starting software or rendering? Yes, Keyshot is the ultimate for as a startup. Keyshot will teach you everything. Keyshot will be giving you a great knowledge about what is to be used, what is to be done. To that matter, I would say you all can start using, because anyways, Keyshot, you have to buy it in order to get it. To that matter, Blender is one software which you all can use. You all should try it. Everyone, I recommend everyone to try it, because it's a free software, and the results that you get are much more better than what Keyshot can also give you and V-Ray can also give you, with no money that has been put in. Okay, which 3D software do you prefer, Arthwa? Which 3D software do you prefer for modeling, not for A-class but good quality quick model? Okay. Arthwa, for right now, I'm using Rhino. I've done my full catamaran in Alias, and I don't like Alias anymore because there are particular things that really annoy me. I would say Rhino is the best software. Blender is the second software, and Maya, of course, for polygon modeling. For ISM surfacing, for NURBS, I would suggest you take Rhino. It's quick. Everything happens on your keyboard. You just have to type. Your things will happen. It's very good quality. All my models, everything is been done on Rhino. So please use Rhino. I think so for the quick modeling that you can prefer and all those things. Okay. Ashish, it is preferred to make short animation if possible to have the idea of nicely presented, or is it an overkill? Also thought or Blender versus Maya. Right now, if you ask me Blender versus Maya, I would say Blender anytime. Maya, trust me, man, it's expensive. Blender is free, and the quality, I think so. Behance, there are a lot of people who are trying Behance. The particle simulation, the renders that are done in architecture and all those things are mind blowing. All students are using it, and even I'm trying to use it. We are just trying to get it stuff for yachting, because we have to make videos, we have to make quick animation videos. So instead of taking 1 month to do my video, I can do it maybe within a week's time. So it all depends upon how much of time and patience you have to get your work done. If you have those many things in your head, you can get your work done quickly, and all things can be achieved. Nothing is impossible when you're doing renders or anything. Okay, Ashish, just to follow up, how does one cope up if a software is learned but gets forgotten over time? Come on, you can't do that, man. You have to keep your software updated, because once you forget, it's very tough to get back. So in designing world, you cannot stop. You have to go on and on again. If you do that, you're going to have a big gap, which is going to be difficult for you to come back. You have to bridge that gap and try to come up with the people who are already gone ahead of you. You have to stay ahead with the generation. If it's 2020, you have to be in the age of 2021. You have to see what will come in 2021. You have to do yourself into that particular range. You have to be one step ahead of everything that you do, especially in the design world. Which product design software would you recommend to start model to finish renders? Nishant. A product, Rhino, which will be perfect. For to finish renders, again, Keyshot, very well used. Blender also you can try. Industrial purposes, I think so. A lot of people use Rhino as their main supply. Now people are getting into, but yeah, it depends, Nishan. It depends upon whether you want to do nerves modeling, whether you want to do, so your polygon modeling. It all depends upon you. If you want nerves modeling, then of course there is for product people, industrial people, you can use Rhino, and renders you can use Keyshot, you can use V-Ray, you can also use Blender nowadays. Asking again. So okay, so finally, for modeling, quick modeling, if anyone wants to take some notes, I would say Alias is the top in modeling because it comes to better quality surfaces and everything. Second, for me, I would suggest Rhino. Third is Maya Max. Maya and Max is compulsory if you're doing polygon modeling. Then I would suggest Blender and then Cinema 4D. Whereas for rendering, I would say V-Ray is on the top. Then comes Corona renders. Then comes your Cinema 4D, Octane renders. Blender is again, because Blender is just coming and picking up. You have Unreal, you have Houdini. There's a lot of other softwares that can be used for rendering. Ashish asked me one more question. Okay, since software and 3D visualization is a large word and quite time consuming, how do you keep your balance with design, research, sketching, and etc.? To that matter, Ashish, what we do is we have a timeline. Everybody has to do a timeline. You have to stick to a proper, time. If you don't have a timetable, you're going to lose a track. So what we do is, especially for me, we have 1 month to complete a complete project. So 1 week we finish the sketches from ideation to complete thing. Then we start the next week is basic modeling to final product, and then other 2 weeks will be just tweaking here and there to get our final results in the end. So probably a month we take to finish all this. So now since we have a studio up and running, we have 2 interns, actually 3 interns who are coming. We have 2 designers, 1 3D modeler. So all the work is generated and everything is on to track. So we have 4 projects coming this year. And that's how we are balancing all the design, research, sketching, and everything phase by phase. Yeah, you asked me how to get best lights, reflections, and shadows in a render. Well, it depends upon to you, whether you're just going to use sun as the main, whether you're going to use HDR lightings, whether you're going to use a personalized lights. I don't know whether I have a quick. I'll just show you what I had done recently. Perfect. Okay, so this is the render that I had done, okay, for my lighting. So now can you see there are 4 different lights. Now this is a product render. So I had to play with different lights in order to, have a different kind of a value things. If I just put a simple occlusion pass, you see, this is my set. This is what I've created. It's like a photo shoot. I've used, almost 5 different lights in order to give this. And there is a beam that is, so when you go to a photo shoot, if you go to a studio, when you photo shoot, you have, drapes behind you. So you have to create, that kind of environment to build all those things. So this is one, to that matter. Just to give you a quick feedback, also we will be, hopefully we'll be starting online courses for 3D modeling, for visualization, post-production. If anybody wants to learn 3D modeling, rendering, post-production, so let me tell you what all softwares we are going to teach you all. We are going to teach Rhino, Grasshopper, Keyshot, maybe Blender will be also added to it, Photoshop and Lightroom, all combined to the projects. It will be 2 months, 4 days in a week, 1 hour is one batch. There will be 2 batches, only 10 seats. So you'll be having one product, one architecture, one yacht modeling done. Same to that, to the visualization also, you'll be having one product visualization project, one architecture project, and one yacht project. So these will be 3. Your portfolio will be ready in 2 months. If we can all join together, whoever wants to join, please, you all can text me over whichever platform. I'm available on Instagram, I'm available on Facebook, LinkedIn, all these possible things. All these platforms, you can message me, anybody, anything that you'll want from your side.